Over the rivals, the Americans 2-0, the final here today, and the flags will continue to fly behind us. Annie Petrillo alongside Oliver Platt and Christian Jack. And this was the theme going in, Ollie, the entire time was, are the Americans vulnerable right now? The Canadians, when they pulled off that Nations League victory in 2019, was it a fluke? Can this little brother finally beat the big brother? And they did just that.
Yeah, I'll save what I have to say about this for a second, because I think we all want to hear this.
Because that was for you as well, not just the fans here in the stadium. Ollie, what a massive victory.
Yeah, I'm running out of words at this point. We all knew that this team had the quality to qualify for the World Cup for the first time since '86, but it's supposed to be difficult. And it's just, I know obviously behind the scenes there's an incredible amount of work going into it, and of course it has been hard, but the end products we're seeing on the pitch, it's so smooth that nothing seems to be getting in this team's way. They've won 5 games in a row. They're unbeaten still through 10 games. You feel like you're in a dream that you're going to wake up from soon. And then when you see the individual performances on top of that, we talked about that man, Milan Borjan, but then you see Sam Mata-Kuby run through on goal like he's Mohamed Salah in the last minute of that game and put the ball home for 2-0. It's astonishing what this group is doing individually, collectively. As I say, I'm running out of ways to really describe how special this is.
Yeah, it's extremely special in so many ways. First of all, we all know what we're going through here in Canada, again, with another lockdown in certain areas and indoor sports not allowed, and yet these people get to come out here today and mingle and celebrate all the great things that is this wonderful country and celebrate this wonderful team. That is very important to be discussed here in January 2022. The other thing for me is, no matter the profile of the match, and tonight was very, very different, they still find ways to win games. Open track meets of a game, wide open, attacking style kind of games will beat you at that. Defensive games will beat you at that. You have the ball now, we'll just sit deep and we'll get a lead early, we'll beat you at those kind of games as well. They are great teams in any sports that can do that. This is a great team in this region. They're far from a great team in the world. But when you can win different ways, that's why you are leading championships like this, the top of the standings, and that's why they're going to Qatar, because they found ways to find that inner belief. And tonight was about courage and inner belief and covering space and working hard with that ball and being there for the next player and saying, I will not be the one who lets you down, and covering everything. And the US had a ton of the ball, but they didn't have that finishing ability that Canada did. So in the end, it's just, again, the biggest thing you can say is it's a collective effort, and that, again, it was on show here in Hamilton today.
Wondered when we would see the shirts off, who would be brave enough to do that in this weather. It really truly is the next man up mentality, and by no means was Canada on the front foot for a lot of this game. They were on the back foot. They were weathering the storm of the Americans, and defensively a solid game. One in particular, KJ, would be Sam Mata-Kuby, and then right near the end there, a nice little cushion for the Canadians. He gets his first national team goal.
Yeah, and when you play really hard, you hope the game can reward you sometimes, right? And Mata-Kuby is a result of really working hard in this team and proving that he can come on and play. He's one of these players that's playing consistently in Europe right now in a team full of MLS players that aren't, and just finds himself in a position of dreamland, right? This is the kind of goal you would never imagine you'd ever score as a left back. It's a fantastic individual effort that he starts, and then be able to go and carry on. So it's a marvelous individual goal for him, but one that he deserves. We've talked a lot about many other players, but he was tremendous for this team in Edmonton. He was lined up for that first game in Costa Rica. He wasn't lined up to play the next game against Mexico, and his performance made John Herdman change change his mind. And again, here we are talking about a different hero, Ollie.
Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant. One of the players who has really grown the most over the course of this qualifying campaign. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing, to be honest. And just seeing him that high up the pitch in the 90th minute of a 1-0 game, like you would think the guys are out on their feet, exhausted. He's still got the energy to make that run, to make something of what was a pretty hopeful ball from Kamal Miller, let's be honest, and then beat the defender to it and run through on goal as well. It's astonishing.
This was the biggest question. March 2021, when we were getting set for these World Cup qualifiers, we said we know this team can score, and they've proven it. That's now 47 goals total in this World Cup qualifying campaign going back to March. We wondered how that back line was going to look, KJ. And in this year, it's really newbies. I know Sam Mata-Kuby's kind of been here, here and there, but Alistair Johnston, Sam Mata-Kuby, I mean, these are guys really rising to the occasion in a spot that we had a lot of question marks around.
Yeah, we did. That was the biggest Achilles heel going in for Canada. That was the scouting report, that defensively they don't have anywhere near the quality. But the defensive, again, today, I thought they were excellent, particularly in key moments. Alistair Johnston, I thought, was tremendous, and we're going to get to him another time. But defensively, I thought they were solid throughout. Vittoria was excellent. They kept their shape. And the United States tested them. But if you watch these clips, a lot of it is all in front of the back line. And that suits Canada. They're not playing too deep, which is important. But you're not getting a lot of attacking, vibrant style of football that you get at the club game. The international game is predictable, slower, and I think that suits Canada. Take nothing away from it. But even these moments when Johnston needed to step up against Pulisic, I thought he was marvelous. And players like Miller, Vittoria, lots of examples. Look, collectively, they had to put a shift in for the shirt tonight, and I thought they did a tremendous job.
Yeah, we were kind of saying at the start of the second half, like, the US are having too much of the ball here. Canada can't continue on like this. They're going to need to hold possession at some point. And I think we were kind of proven wrong, to be honest, because they didn't need to. And part of that is, well, a big part of that, don't get me wrong, is the way Canada defended collectively was outstanding. But we have to also say a big part of it too was the US in the attacking third. Just so flat, so static. The quality into the box was really, really poor whenever they tried to put a ball into those areas. They were like strangers at times. I'd love to see how many passes like Zardes and Pulisic connected on, because it was like they were on different teams, right? And that's something that, again, is a massive difference between these two teams, is, the ideas and the freshness and the directness of Canada's attacking play compared to when you watch that United States team, and it's just so flat throughout that second half, unbelievably so for a game of this magnitude.
And you think about expected goals, Canada didn't really create much.
No.
One moment. It's all they needed, one moment, and they got the goal.
Well, let's talk about that moment, because that's Kyle Larin, who also sets the record for all-time leading goal scorer for the Canadian men. That's his 23rd goal, and it just seems like there's a magnet between his ball and the foot, because even if it's not exactly the prettiest, Ollie, he finds a way to get it in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think Canada were always going to be relying on that they'd find a moment in the game like this to hurt the United States, and as soon as that ball falls nicely onto Kyle Larin's right foot, you feel very, very good about what the outcome is going to be. But that's a big one, for not just for Kyle Larin, but I think for Jonathan David as well, because we've been wondering, can they play as a two? Can they really combine in the right kind of ways? They did it brilliantly on that goal, and I think just as importantly for Canada today, those two put in such a shift off the ball as well. If you're going to play with two strikers up top, they can't just be all out attacking players and stand on the last defender throughout the game. They've got to contribute when you don't have the ball, and then those two are almost like attacking midfielders at times with the way they help to shield players like Adams and stop the ball from coming into midfield.
Yeah, and every credit for Dwayne De Rosario, Canadian legend, who obviously had that record. That's extremely classy for him to give it to Kyle Larin. And by the way, in a few months' time, he'll be tweeting about Jonathan David passing him as well. But I'll say this, in modern day football, the key thing is midfield dominance. Dominate midfield, win games. That's the key for a lot of coaches. Atiba Hutchinson's sitting in the stands today with his family. He's not playing in this game. He wasn't in the squad. Stefan Eustaquio's not available. That's the two best central midfielders Canada have. They weren't available to do it. And then Sam Pierre's got a high ankle sprain and wasn't really available for the game. Marc-Anthony Kaye hasn't played for 2 months and played 60 minutes. Liam Fraser comes on and was marvelous again. Jonathan Osorio plays in a deeper position. So David and Larin played and had to deliver what they delivered today. They had to help defensively and then able to combine like that. And it just, as I said, it's been a perfect storm of the way things are developing, but it's that next man mentality is never ever stop giving up the responsibilities that you have to do with and without the ball.
Yeah, those guys can score. That's their A game. But what's your B game and your C game as well that also helps contribute to the all-around team effort? And that's what this team seems to have in spades. Another massive victory for them, 2-0 over the United States. They remain undefeated. They remain at the top of the table. And a man who's not here, but you know he's celebrating with his team, Alfonso Davies.
Providing competitive odds on all sports, Sports Interaction is Canada's sportsbook.
1.5 meters of hardwood and fiberglass. 250 square meters of ice. All mean nothing until someone brings them to life. To forge the unbreakable and defy the impossible. Humanity drives everything. And it's what inspires us at Toyota, because everything in this world is ours to bring to life.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates and analysis, and all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
Oh, Canada! Oh, baby!
Full-time stats brought to you by Toyota. Canada 2-0 victory here over the United States. So now they're done facing them in this final round. The first was a 1-1 draw in US, and Canada taking full advantage of home field advantage here. But you can see that it was a very busy night for the Canadians. In particular, this man here, 13 shots, 3 on target by the United States. So that means Milan Borjan with the all-state save of the match. This one came in the first half off a corner. Oh my word, did he have to stretch for that one, and he knew that that was a massive save. He was feeling like the king of the jungle in that one too, and it was really huge because it preserved the lead that they had, and then of course it just all around preserved the win that they had. And we discussed him in the pregame show, gentlemen, even at halftime, because of that save right there and how he has really spread his wings now under John Herdman and with this Canadian team, and we see him as one of the leaders. Even when Richie Larea was there, Ollie, we saw him try to calm him down. Richie was getting upset, just like this gentleman right here is just over the top excited, but maybe we need Borjan to calm him down. And then again, after the game, he's the one who leads the conversation, a true leader right now, but also getting the job done on the pitch.
He is, and you know, he's a leader for the rest of the players, and he's setting a fantastic example for them and being that presence. But I think it's also having a tremendous impact on his own game, right? Because I think sometimes when you're a player and you feel that sense of importance, that you really have a prominent role to play, you really can be a leader in this group and make a difference, not just in your own game, but to others. It brings out the best in you as an individual, and we're undoubtedly seeing that right now with Milan Borjan, who's just thriving in that role he's been given.
Yeah, 90 minutes sense of full concentration, right? Which I think he would admit he's never always had in his career, and he's got that now, no doubt about it. And, you know, he's relishing that leadership moment, you know, at the end of the game. This is still a very incredibly young group, and they need leaders, they need guidance, not just from coaches, but from players themselves. Jonathan Osorio is one of those players, but he's not old, he's not even past 30 yet, you know what I mean? So they need that real senior leaders in that camp who can say, yes, Atiba Hutchinson is quiet, but he can lead. Milan Borjan's a little bit more aggressive, and they need that, these young players.
Yeah, when you talk about like creating a culture in a group in any team, it can't just come from the coach.
No.
It has to come from players who really buy into what the coach is selling and trying to build, but can kind of, you know, spread that and build that in their own ways, that players, I think, look at their fellow players and their teammates a little bit differently, and it just helps to build that trust within the kind of culture you're building.
Tons of trust, tons of belief. I know we keep saying it, but that's what this team is feeling, because right now they have pulled off 6 points out of their first 2. One more game to go in this window. Can they get those 9 points? Next up will be El Salvador. That is on Wednesday. Join us 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the picture will definitely become a lot clearer. And for some, it's pretty clear that path to Qatar, they can actually see it now. Sam Mata-Kuby getting the dagger there to give the Canadians the win over the Americans.
We're used to labels. Apologetic. Sweet. Pushovers.
1, 2, 3, red!
But screw labels. No more being polite. No more sugarcoating. Because we're labelless and limitless. Oat Canada, the official plant protein partner of Canada Soccer.
1.5 meters of hardwood and fiberglass. 250 square meters of ice. All mean nothing until someone brings them to life. To forge the unbreakable and defy the impossible. Humanity drives everything, and it's what inspires us at Toyota. Because everything in this world is ours to bring to life.
My name is Alfonso Davies, and I'm a proud Canadian citizen. And my dream is to someday compete in the World Cup.
A nation ready to believe, game by game, step by step.
It's in! It's over the line! Canada has qualified for World Cup 86!
All Canada needs is a draw. They are far short of that.
Oh, Canada! Oh, baby!
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates, and analysis. And all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
We know the expectation for your team, match in, match out. 3 points. Do the job, get your win, move on. You thinking about 9 points in this window now after today?
Look, it's always been 9 points. I mean, the mission's been to be the first to qualify and win every game. That's it. That's all we ever said. So you just got to get the feet back on the ground. We got El Salvador in 2.5 days' time. We got to get on a flight back into the heat and see if we can book our place to Qatar.
I think many Canadians would like to follow you for the heat and just to appreciate this some more. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, it wasn't quite admission of like we're going to Qatar, but the fact that he even just said it in a sentence, even he now is starting to allow himself to say it, because if you see the standings here, Canada, of course, top spot was up for grabs here against the United States with the full 3 points. They keep that lead. Doesn't matter if Mexico ends up winning their game either. And I know, KJ, you kept saying that magic number in order to qualify because you're the mathematician here was 24 points. The Canadians are already at 22 and they have another window to go.
Yeah, they're there, guys. You know, it's done. You know, they're qualifying for the World Cup. And, you know, I just think, you know, these scenes behind me today are just remarkable for this team and for this country, you know. And we all get lost, and there's a reason why people are watching this, because it's all about qualifying for Qatar, right? That's the key here. But it's far deeper than that. It's far deeper. It's that take flight message right now that this whole country is getting behind. Something that the women's team have already galvanized this wonderful country by doing. By started in London in 2012, and then they climbed the mountain and they found gold in Tokyo. Do you know what I mean? They've done that, and now the men's team are connecting with this fan base behind us, and they're beating teams like the United States, and they're dictating their own terms. And as I said it all along, it was always about the journey. The destination will take care of itself, and this journey we thought would be tough. The path would have hurdles, and they just keep knocking them down, Ollie.
It's been another spectacular day. Even with the capacity restriction, you know, the fans have turned out in Hamilton, and you got one more chance, right? One more home qualifier in March against Jamaica. That'll be a party. You'll want to be there if it's near where you live, or even if it isn't, try and get out there. But yeah, these home games have just been something special.
Yeah, we don't know where that one's going to be played, and not quite a plane ride, but there were a couple people here that made the few hours drive from Sudbury. I mean, fans are traveling. They do want to see their team in action, that's for sure. So a massive 2-0 victory for Canada over the United States. All kinds of things were on the line, right? Because you know your rivalry against the Americans. But yes, top spot continues to be the Canadians in the standings as we say goodbye to our Sportsnet viewers. But we continue more to break down in this matchup.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
1.5 meters of hardwood and fiberglass. 250 square meters of ice. All mean nothing until someone brings them to life. To forge the unbreakable and defy the impossible. Humanity drives everything, and it's what inspires us at Toyota, because everything in this world is ours to bring to life.
Busy night still to come here on One Soccer. You have Mexico taking on Costa Rica. That's followed by Panama, Jamaica. Then you have Honduras taking on El Salvador. I think those two teams there, Honduras, El Salvador, they're pretty much done in this World Cup qualifier. We knew in this window in particular, we would know which ones would be closer to being done than not. El Salvador, of course, losing to the U.S. a few days ago, and the Canadians beating Honduras in Honduras a few days ago as well. But when it comes to the American story here, we wondered if they were vulnerable coming in. They beat El Salvador 1-0 on Thursday. A lot of fans weren't exactly convinced by that either. Obviously, they're having a decent qualifying campaign to be sitting in second. You know, is this still a team right now that you consider a threat? Or again, when they face the Canadians, are they vulnerable?
They're a threat. I thought they were very poor today, and I think in general, when I watch the States, I think they can be a very good team when they're able to play the game on their terms and the way they like to play the game. And I think for all of the possession they have, a lot of their strengths are still in transition and being able to create those transition opportunities. When I watch Canada, I think they can play the game any way that they need to, on a particular occasion against a particular opponent. There's a lot more flexibility there. There's a lot more ability to beat teams in different ways. And after the away game in Nashville, you know, the American players came off the pitch complaining that, they just defended for 90 minutes. They didn't come out of their shell. Well, it works. Like, why wouldn't they? When you're watching this United States team struggle to break them down in the way they have done over 180 minutes and against other opponents now, it's a strategy that's been effective, and they have the firepower up front to create the 1 or 2 chances they need.
By the way, the US did that to Canada in the Gold Cup when they scored early. They just defended for 90 minutes. It worked for them. So, you know, for me, there's a lot to like about the program. They don't have the number 9 that Canada do, and Canada's got 2 of them at least. The other thing about the United States, and I've said this for a long time, is they don't play enough of these games. They don't play enough games away from home in competitive environments, and it's only going to get worse for them because they're hosting the next World Cup. Gold Cups are always at home. Why? Because that's where they need to play the money for the revenue for Concacaf. So they play every Gold Cup game at home. Nations League games for the majority of the time are at home, right? World Cup qualifiers, at least half of them are at home. Their away record is really, really poor. I've said it time and time again. I think they've won 6 competitive away games in 10 years. So they need more chances to come away, but they don't get the practice to do it. And you know, they went away from home and they weren't very good in these World Cup qualifiers. They got 4 goals very late in against Honduras in the second half, but other than that, they struggle to score. They're good at home when they play the game under their own circumstances, and the profile's good defensively. They can stop teams, but that's an issue. They haven't had enough practice away from home, and it's not going to get any easier for them.
Yeah, and they have a young kid, 18-year-old Pepe. I mean, this was a guy heading into those November qualifiers. They were talking about him being the next one, the chosen one, and that's not to say that there isn't a bright future ahead, but they just seem like already, because they're so desperate to find that number 9, there was so much pressure already even being put on a young player to pick up those goals for this team. Unable to get it done here against Canada. The Canadians, they're the ones who show their might offensively, but also defensively. And the last man standing, of course, is Milan Borjan. Our Adam Jenkins had a chance to catch up with him.
Well, Milan, you're missing your shirt because I hear it's headed for the Hall of Fame. What was this entire experience like? This is your town. You got to come home, play, get the results. Just seems like a perfect day.
Amazing day. Amazing day for the whole country, for the red and white. It's something special. I mean, we're not stopping here. We're continuing to win and to qualify for the World Cup. That's our goal. The team did a very good job. I mean, my hometown, Hamilton, just unbelievable, unbelievable fans. Thank you to all these people that came support us, to give us a support. I mean, the country has to recognize this. They have to recognize these boys that they're giving everything for this country to get to the World Cup after 30-something years. It's just unbelievable. Canada should be proud.
Numerous times throughout the game, you're looking at the fans on your left, you're looking at the fans on the right, asking for noise, and every single time they gave you it. You clearly sense the supporters as a player, but what impact do they have on this team in this quest for Qatar?
There are 12 players, you know. It's too bad that the stadium couldn't be full today because of the pandemics and everything, but all these people that came out, I mean, I don't know what to say. Thank you very much, and keep supporting us. Come next game, you know, in the red and white, and let's get the job done. That's it.
Congratulations, Milan. Thank you
very much. Thank you.
I think he was just giving us the pep talk as well. You should be proud. You should see what this team is doing for this country. You know, but this is somebody, again, the leader. And so, yes, a lot's been made about his acrobatic saves, and rightfully so, but how much confidence do you get as a player when you're out there on the pitch and you're seeing your goalkeeper making those big saves and either preserving a lead or preserving a draw or just, you know, preserving, you know, the game that allows you to be able to go and win it when you're a forward?
Yeah, it makes you feel that little bit more unbeatable, right? And that little bit more like you're kind of invincible, and that's what Canada are looking like these days through these World Cup qualifiers. And like I think you can talk about Milan Borjan. I think you can talk about a number of guys around the team who, as we were saying earlier, have lifted their game in ways that we probably didn't foresee coming. Not to say they were ever bad players or that they didn't have more within them than maybe they've shown for Canada over the years, but I think some of them have elevated their game to just to heights that I don't think anyone could have realistically said, yeah, we're going to get that out of that guy through these qualifiers.
Yeah, that shirt means so much to him. You know, that badge means so much to him because every time I speak to him or you hear from him speak, he knows what this country has done for his family. And when players don't spend a lot of time living in this country, and when they majority of the time they spend their club game playing abroad, they appreciate it so much more to come back, and they just want to be Canadian more than ever and represent that country more than ever now. And that's why it means so much. And he's getting to the point where, you know, he may well come back here soon. You know, there's rumors about him coming back to Major League Soccer or playing over here soon, and I think he would like that eventually. And that's the trend that we've seen south of the border for 20 years, that the U.S. players go away, come back, and then they're even more proud to represent that country, because when you're away from it, you appreciate it even more.
Yeah, giving the shout out to Hamilton, hometown. By the way, another goalkeeper who has earned some caps with Canada, Greg Sutton, can call Hamilton home. Liam Fraser, he gets substituted into this game. We know he was the one responsible for that great pass to Jonathan David against Honduras when he ended up getting the goal. He too caught up with our Adam Jenkins.
Okay, we're good. Well, Liam, time and time again we see you and your teammates put in performances that make Canada proud, and then you got to celebrate with the lap around. What's the past 2-3 hours been like for you?
Yeah, you know, it's, obviously our sole focus was this game leading up to it, and the only thing on all our minds was getting 3 points and doing it for our fans, doing it for our country, to push our country further in terms of being a footballing country. So we strapped down and we were able to win and make a big statement.
The nature of these windows, this tournament, there's no easy game. There's no game that you treat any different than the others, but it must feel different when you're playing the United States of America. Just, you saw the rivalry once again tonight. What is it like to be in that rivalry match?
For sure. I think it's hard to not think that it's a derby, because it definitely is. But at the same time, you want to play the game, not the occasion, and let the occasion get the best of you. And I feel that's exactly what we did tonight. We were able to go there, keep level-headed, and come out with the win. And that's exactly what we set our sights on, and we accomplished it.
You have your game plan going into the game. You're trying to stay loose for the first 30 minutes, knowing that your number is going to be. But when it's this cold, does that change anything? Are you a little bit more anxious to get in as early as possible to warm up, or what's going through your mind as you wait to enter the match?
No, I'm here whenever my team needs me, and if that's to start the game, I start. If that's to come on as a sub or cheer if I don't get on, no problem. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for the better of the team to get us to the World Cup. But obviously it is a bit cold out there, but nevertheless the anticipation of coming in definitely warms you up.
And finally, Liam, you know that every point is important, but you go to Edmonton, you beat Mexico. The Americans come here, you beat them in Hamilton. You go on the road, you drew America and Mexico. I know you're so focused on what's next in the next obstacle, but do you let yourself appreciate just how sensational this run has been so far?
For sure. I mean, it's a mixed match, because we're definitely taking points from those games to look back on what we can improve, but it's also something that we want to say, hey, we have the ability to win all those games even away. So we come back, we come back here, and we're able to capitalize on those improvements like we did tonight. So again, now our sole focus is in El Salvador and getting another 3 points to take us a step closer.
Go warm up and enjoy the celebration.
Thanks,
Liam.
Thank you.
You know, in hockey, you ask for contribution from your fourth line. In basketball, it's your bench players. And in soccer, it's your subs. Liam Fraser's doing just that. And, you know, this is a player who you've admired for quite some time.
Yeah, a big fan of Liam Fraser, and I think he's got a very big future to play both for the national team and wherever his club game takes him right now, obviously in Europe, in Belgium. You know, that's the third time I've seen him play very, very well against the U.S. In 2019, that pivotal game that changed the mindset for this country and for this particular team, he came on in the 8th minute because of an injury and was marvelous that day. He was great against them in the Gold Cup as well when he needed a chance, and today I thought he needed to come on and he made a big difference. We were watching the game and they were looking a bit tired and they were losing the battles in midfield. Marc-Anthony Kaye, we know his qualities, but he hasn't been playing a lot. And Liam Fraser came on, and the best compliment you can get is right away he got to the tempo of the game and he started to dictate the game in midfield. And he's just another example. He wasn't even in the squad in Edmonton. Another example of a player that when asked to come in, this team holds him accountable and they go to another level.
Yeah, I've been incredibly impressed by him, and most impressed by the way he's never overawed by any situation. You know, that was 2 years ago, Nations League. He was an even younger player than he is now when he came into that game within the first 10 minutes because of an injury. And like the kid played like he'd been playing international football for 10 years. Like he's pinging passes around, he's getting stuck into tackles. It's not perfect because he is still a young player. He's still finding his feet in the club game. And, you know, as we speak, obviously just made that move to Belgium, but he's never afraid to come into a game, to get on the ball and to try things. And that's all you can ask for, is someone who, particularly in central midfield, doesn't hide. And Liam Fraser never hides.
Yeah, he definitely shows a lot whenever he does get the opportunity to join the squad out there on the pitch. Well, we hope you're enjoying our analysis here, and we're going to go even deeper on onesoccer.ca. That is our new website. We'll have interviews, features, in-depth writing, so be sure to take a little visit over to onesoccer.ca for some great articles on soccer players, both Canadians and, of course, what Canadians are doing overseas in Europe. Well, we're going to hear from the man who got the winning goal and now has a Canadian record. The man Kyle Larin is joining us next.
Rev TV, your motorsports and automotive destination, is now on free preview all February. Watch live races from around the world and right here at home, from 2 wheels to 4 and so much more. Rev TV is your source for motorsports. Rev TV features exclusive race series, up-to-date news coverage, documentaries, how-to programs, and adrenaline-filled lifestyle programs 24/7. Go green with Rev TV. Contact your TV provider to order.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates and analysis, and all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
1.5 meters of hardwood and fiberglass. 250 square meters of ice. All mean nothing until someone brings them to life. To forge the unbreakable and defy the impossible. Humanity drives everything, and it's what inspires us at Toyota. Because everything in this world is ours to bring to life.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
Coming up on the platform, we have Mexico taking on Costa Rica. That's right after our post-game show here. But let's hear from the man now who got the winning goal, Kyle Larin.
Kyle, first of all, congratulations on the result. Always tough to play the Americans, especially when it's as cold as it was outside. Yeah. What was that battle like for you and your teammates today?
No, I don't think the cold phased us today. We played in Edmonton in worse conditions, and no, it was a great win for us, and I think everyone's just excited, and we won today, and we just keep going, and this team is a really close team, and we'll keep it until the end.
Now, after you tied Dwayne for the record for all-time goals for the Canadian A team, we knew it was a matter of time, that it was going to come eventually. But to get it so early in the game and set the tone for the match, how big of a goal was that for you and for the team today?
I think we just set the tone. After that goal, it put ease to the team, and so we could start playing. And then because we knew the beginning of the game was going to be difficult, so I think that game eased us a bit, and it just we pushed on the rest of the game, and we got the second goal, and after that goal we knew we had it, so it was a great game and happy to win.
Well, last for you, we know this is a locker room full of team guys. It's about the crest, it's not about the player, but when you're going to be able to reflect on the record and the fact that you can still add to it, who do you think of on your journey who got you here and who's still helping you today?
I think that's the guys on my team, and we're close. Everyone's close on the team, and I've been with a lot of them for a long time, and everyone puts the team first, and that's the most important thing, and you can see it on the pitch. We're defending together, attacking together, and then we're fighting, and we get the result doing that.
On El Salvador, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, don't look now. I know this game's not over yet, but the Canadians might just find themselves in a very nice situation before their game against El Salvador, KJ, because is Jamaica up 1-0 right now in Panama?
Yeah, Jamaica's winning against Panama. You know, Costa Rica got to play Mexico next. Panama got to go and play Mexico. So what I'm saying is we're ticking them all off individually, but there's still a chance that Canada could qualify in El Salvador on Wednesday. Yeah, and now obviously on to El Salvador to get 3 points there, which is, look, after these two performances, I think it's going to be difficult with the way the squad is stretched a little bit right now. Maybe we'll see Stefan Eustaquio back, which would help massively. There's a lot of effort that's gone into these first two games, but why not, right? They've done it away in Honduras. I think they'll believe fully they can go to El Salvador and get 3 points too.
But that's what's even more impressive is the fact that they're doing this without Alphonso Davies and Stefan Eustaquio in their lineup right now.
Yeah, incredible. They might have their best window, you know, not to get ahead of ourselves here, but they might end up having their best window without two of those key players. But again, we can only really, you know, keep repeating the same thing, which is, one, this team has an incredible mentality as a collective group, and they're always prepared for games, you know, regardless of who's on the fields. Yeah. And we saw that today with, you know, KJ mentioned it earlier, the lack of central midfield options against a very good American midfield. So to be able to control that the way they did was remarkable. And they've got individual talent that's still here and ready to step up and is continually doing so. Yeah, don't stop believing, right? That's what it was. They were singing it before, and it's true, right? It's right there for you. Don't stop believing.
This DJ was on fire here today inside Tim Hortons Field. I don't know who it was, but shout out to the DJ who was playing the sick tunes. And yes, that was one of them. By the way, watch party at KJ's. He said it. We're going to have the watch party at his house. We'll see if the Canadians can actually book their ticket in this window. But it's okay. It's okay. They're in an excellent position, and there's another window in March. But what a massive victory for them here today. 2-0 over the United States to remain undefeated and continue to top the standings here in this final round of World Cup qualifiers. Andy, Ollie, KJ, on behalf of everyone here, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you Wednesday night for El Salvador.
To play. It's something that's in us from the very beginning, and something we take with us on every step of the journey. When we have no words, it gives us a way to speak. When we are still finding our way in the world, it gives us somewhere to belong. And no matter who we are or where we come from, it gives us the right to dream.
Christine Sinclair as she scores at her 5th World Cup. Alphonso Davies!
It's time to celebrate the game we love. It's time to play.
As I said before, battling for points in Panama City. 1-1 currently at the Rommel Fernandez. So it'll be interesting to see how things are as an own goal for Jamaica even things up.